Hey guys, welcome back to Seadogs Can Fly. This is episode number 30, and for a big landmark episode for the site, we have a double header. First game is at home against Aston Villa, second game at home against third placed Bristol City. A win in both games will make us centurions for the season and all but guarantee promotion. If we win both games and Newcastle drop points in any of their two games, we will be going up. So a big episode. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell button to get notification when new episodes go live, and give us a like if you enjoy the episode. Roll the intro.
12 years in that division and they're out.
Right boys, before we get you caught up on the schedule and 2 months worth of games, some transfer news. Lucas Bergstrom has left the club for 8.25 million, that's to Leicester. They activated his release clause and he's only a backup goalkeeper, so I was happy to see him go. We signed him for 23k last season, remember, from Chelsea. Paul Bell leaves the club going to Ipswich for 375k up front. He's never going to feature, didn't play for us all season, so I was just happy to have rid of the wages and bring in a little bit more transfer money. So that boosts our income up massively, which pays for a lot of transfers this season. And as you can see, every year we've made whopping transfer profit. That will change next season as I plan to invest heavily, provided we do get up to the top flight. As you can see, finances were down there at 2 million in debt, shot up now to 7.2 million in the green. Of course, we spent loads of money on the stadium, the facilities, youth recruitment, hence why we were in the red, but we were never too concerned about that. As for the schedule, we left off drawing to Preston away from home in a rather unfortunate game. We then beat Charlton 4-1 in the league, before Accrington Stanley were dispatched 3-1 in the FA Cup third round. This goal from Philippe Tezard has to be a contender for goal of the season, an amazing free kick. And in the next game against Birmingham at home, we won 4-1, where Georges Grasso decided to take on the mantle for goal of the season with this beauty, dribbling past most of the Birmingham team before dispatching really nicely into the bottom left corner. Burnley next, where we won 4-3. This was a real tight affair. You go, we go. We ended up coming away victors. Louis Barry was sensational, Yusuga from the left, and David Salmon with a great strike on the 65th minute. So happy to come away with all 3 points in that game. Swansea were beaten 2-1. We dispatched Stoke 6-3 in the cup, and the run just continued from strength to strength, including a thrashing of Huddersfield 4-0. This was a really great performance where Jabels got on the score sheet, and it was at this point I realised that Jabels could work as backup from the right wing. That's where you're going to see him in the first game today, cutting inside. He scored 6 goals from there, and I'm hoping we can develop him further, because Lacour, unfortunately, while he's been a legend at the club, is not going to be here long term. Next season, if we go up, I feel the Premier League is going to be too bigger a challenge for the Frenchman. But one player that has actually surprised me with how he's developed is Louis Barry. He's scored 10 goals from his 10 starts and he's been a great backup for Williams. He's actually getting to the point now where I think he's probably better in that advanced forward role. But there is definitely a weakness there as the front man. And Williams, while he's been great for us for so many years, and I have a lot of sentimental feeling towards the kid because we developed him from the National League North, I do feel like it's too much for him to be the main talisman next season. He's got great all-round ability, but he's just lacking that little bit of Premier League edge. So I think next season we are going to have to really search and scour for a top-class frontman. We've got Saltella as the false 9. I think he is going to be Premier League standard, so I'm happy about that. And we've got Bowden as well as a false 9 as backup. I'm happy that he is going to do a decent job as well. But we need a proper frontman, a talisman who can score you 20 plus goals a season. So the search will begin soon for that. But that brings us nicely into today's first livecom game against Aston Villa. Aston Villa should be playing a 4-2-3-1, fielding 2 DMC, something that Concerto does struggle against. They'll also be using a cautious mentality, tiki-taka style. We all know that the system isn't geared up for that sort of thing. So I've adjusted. I've brought the false 9 back to DMC. We're going to play Gut as a deep line playmaker. We don't have a natural DMC, but Gut is good for the deep line playmaker role, so should do okay. My only reservation is you do need a great striker to play on his own up top. I'm not sure that Gary Bowden's the man for the job, but with the game against Bristol City coming up, I want to field a weakened 11 so that we've got the best possible team for the game that could see us get promoted within this episode. Right, let's stop dilly-dallying around, let's get into the match engine. So we've got Jabel starting from the right, Yusuga from the left, both great players. Yusuga's going to be playing as a winger, so he's going to be getting crosses in as well as arriving late in the box. Jabel's is an inverted winger, so he is going to be cutting inside. We've got Warburton overlapping Yusuga. Bowman's more in support of Jabel's. We've got the advanced playmaker now on attack, so he's really going to attack that space where the false 9 would usually drop into, as well as Mitchell, the box-to-box midfielder, as Gut picks out the passes from deep. Roxo is playing at centre-back. He's a real weak link in the team, but he's a 17-year-old I'm trying to develop, and we've got all the other centre-backs out on loan because they need first-team football. Let's tell the lads that they can do it and kick off. We've not created an awful lot in the opening 17 minutes or so. This is the sort of game when I'd usually expect us to dominate the opening exchange, but we've got players playing out of position, a new system, only one striker. And there we go. Gary Bowden says, screw you, boss. You don't know what you're talking about. We're playing just fine. Thank you very much. Good to see Patrick Gut getting the assist there in that deep line playmaker role. Bowman, Jabel's linking up well, maybe a little bit too close together, but Gut's getting really far forward considering he's a DMC. So it's nice to see that the system is quite flexible as well, dependent on who you're up against. And I do always say with tactics, a lot of the time your tactic is only the shape that your opposition is playing. Because when they're playing 2 DMCs and then so many players further up the field, that means we can dominate the middle of the pitch. So they really do get pegged back in their own half. We've reached half time here, so we can encourage the lads. I think that was a decent performance. Concerto would probably do better, but the problem is we need to take the chances when we had them and not get countered. So I think playing the one man up front's probably the right thing to do. We've had 6 shots, 3 on target, a clear cut, a half chance. So yeah, it's not too bad. It's not brilliant, but it's certainly something we can try developing going forward. We might have to tweak the roles and the instructions a little bit, but it's not a bad framework to go with. As Yusuga picks up the ball in the left wing, Mitchell, the box-to-box midfielder, he doesn't very often get a game, but he's won us the match there probably because Aston Villa are now down to 10 men. And then the ball gets swinging and Guts, is that allowed? Yes it is. Patrick Gut scores his 3rd goal of the season. What the deep line playmaker is doing there, I am not sure. Warburton with a wonderful cross in, and then Gut, probably one of the smallest players on the pitch, gets his head on it. Brilliant. Right, well, we've got chance here to rest Gut because he's going to be required in the advanced playmaker role in the next game. So I'm going to bring Wardle on, and we're going to switch him from the deep line playmaker role to a ball-winning midfielder. Yusuga can come off, I think, for Saltella possibly. Let's have Jabel's off, and I think we'll bring on Angel... No, not Angel Gomez. Bring on Lacour. Lacour deserves a game. Angel Gomez has been injured for about a month. He's only just coming back, so I'm going to save him for the Villa game. Bowman with the long throw. Launches it in. Lacour almost on the end, but it's back to the right back. Takes on his man. Can he squeeze a cross in here? Brings it to Lacour, to Mitchell, and the box-to-box midfielder gets rather fortunate there, as it's an own goal from Siman Juntak. That is a terrible name. I'll just call him Ismail. 3-0 up, and this is going very, very well. Villa now have this chasm of space opening up in the middle of the pitch. That'll just be a playground for the likes of Tezar to run into. This should be the last highlight now of the game. We're on the 93rd minute, Pedraza clears the ball back out to Bowman. Bowman, the right back, to Wardle. The DMC to Mitchell, to Tezar. And Villa are camped out in their own half. They're not going to be able to keep hold of the ball doing that. And we run out 3-0 victors. That takes us on to 98 points. Newcastle are on 75. Bristol City are on 73. So in my math, I think if we beat Bristol City, we are definitely promoted. And we'll beat Centurions at the same time. And we'll only be another victory away from winning the title. So happy days. Right, let's jump forward to the new, big game against Bristol City. Right, boys, this is it. The biggest game of the save. After 6 seasons, starting in the 7th tier of English football, we've had consecutive promotions back to back, and now we can get promoted with a win today. We can become Centurions and we can set a new record for the Championship of 33 wins out of 46 with 9 games still to go. Bristol City are 3-1, we're 4-5. They're in strong form, we're in excellent form. They beat us already once this season, and it was using this same system with the 2 DMCs again, the one that we knew we were going to struggle against, coming up against Aston Villa. The same style of play, the same mentality, so I'm going to field the same system that worked against the Midlands team, Villa. I'm going to go with Williams up top. I'm a little bit nervous that him being isolated is going to be a problem. He's not the greatest at creating his own chances, but he is a good aerial presence, so we'll stick with that. Angel Gomez hasn't got much match sharpness, so he's probably going to start the game but may have to come off. Other than that, it's pretty much a full strength side there, I would say. We are missing Gale, the box-to-box midfielder. He's been with us from day one. Really great talent. And as for Bristol City's main threat, Udrago is certainly good in behind. He's going to be a difficult one to deal with. And they've got Offrat in the AMC role, who's really quick. They're 2 players we want to watch, hence why we've got that DMC sitting in there now, just to try and pack out against the counter-attack and stop us overcommitting, which tends to happen with Concerto. This one will definitely be a good test for the new system, because Bristol City are in form, they've got good players, they don't have any injuries, so there's no reason why they should underperform, like you could argue Aston Villa will have done. First highlight of the match, the ball is with Lejeune, our goalkeeper. Works it ball forward to Wardle. Salmon now. Salmon dribbling forward, but he's crowded out in the middle. And then there's that ball over the top we discussed. And the first goal of the game. Salifu Udrago scores for Bristol City. Well, that's not ideal, especially considering the DMC is meant to stop things like that happening. But we've still got time, as Wardle picks up a loose pass. Tezar over the top to Grasso, to Williams, and I think there was an offside there by the looks of it, yeah. Gut with the free kick, swings it in, and Tezar, ball's probably coming to him a bit too quick there. It's a free kick here, approaching half time. Gut with the ball, works it back to Edzabe, ball over the top to Williams, and that has to be a penalty. It is. Right, please score. We need this before half time. There's only 7 minutes remaining of the match, and Gut dispatches into the bottom corner. Back in the game. 4th goal of the season for the Swiss. Patrick Gut. Game on. So with only 5 minutes left in the first half, guys, a bit disappointed with a few of the performances here, which raises a few eyebrows for next season and potentially using this system going forward against DMCs. But we've got a corner. Gut swings it in. Tezar picks up the pieces. Back out to the deep line playmaker. Gut, good cross, and Williams should have done better there. He's got far better aerial ability than that would have suggested. We're into the 55th minute, and I think I'm going to have to make a change. Let's get into the tactics. First of all, Williams is coming off. He's done all right, but he's not been brilliant. Bowden had a really great game last time out, so we're going to have him in. Yusuga's going to be coming in as well. And I think we should probably have Gomez out. I'm going to have Jabels in on the right wing because he can do quite well off the bench, cutting inside. He's a real technical player, and we could do with someone coming up with a moment of magic. Tezar, the advanced playmaker, gets tackled, and Grasso picks it up, but that is a tame effort from the Argentine. Right, boys, we're on the 84th minute, and I'm going to switch to Concerto. We have the players to be able to do this because I can stick Jabels in the advanced forward role, and then I can have Salmon on the right wing and bring Gut back to a advanced playmaker role. So we're going to do that. Stick 2 up top for the end of the game, and I'm going to go on very attacking. Let's try and get this win to get the title seal, the promotion sealed today, but we can't do it. Unfortunately, it's going to have to go to another game, I think. 1-1 is the result. Bit of a shame. I wish we could have done it on camera, but Bristol City are a very sticky team to come up against, as shown the first time we played them. Sorry guys, we're going to have to wait until the next game to get promoted, which I'm not going to be recording, but I will be coming back very shortly probably with maybe an FA Cup game, because we are still in the FA Cup. We've got Cardiff coming up very shortly, so there's still a lot to play for, as well as a little bit of a chat about how the whole team has performed all season, see how the newbies have developed and how the class of 2020 are coming along. Right, we're going to leave it at that for today, chappies. Thanks so much for watching, much appreciated. Give us a thumbs up and like the video if you enjoyed it. And as always, there's loads of guides in the description, so get yourselves down there and take a look at that. From our tactic to the best personalities for development, how to find new gens, how I find such great players like we have done with the likes of Grasso, Yusuga, all those types of players. And yeah, I will see you for the next episode. Thank you so much for following. See you later, guys.